So Jen Burke was going to be next, except that I stopped to check on Huang Yuan Yang. So let's check on Jen Burke. I felt myself tempted to stop when I noticed Xiao Chan, but we've got to get moving here. So I think Jen Burke started out with Xiao Tao? I don't remember for sure. She doesn't really have a particularly exciting chart. But she is the governor of Xiao Pei, rather, under Lu Bu. Probably pronouncing that wrong. She is about halfway up the merit scale and is at rank 3. But she is... And we'll see some of the Lu Bu officers. Lu Bu did not march out officers from every single... Oh, she's female. I did not notice until just now that they have the top right, there's a little box that shows gender. She, Lu Bu didn't march out of all of his cities, so he will actually have capable officers who are just hanging around doing commerce and shit. More bravery duties than anything else, although she's currently trying to work on commerce. And there you go. She's the governor of actually one of the 2 starting cities we have. She is the governor of a city that we've held for the entire LP. Alright. Next up would be Jiang. I think we just passed. Is it Jiang or Jiang? Or is this the person who died? I'm not sure. This might be the person who died, or I got their name wrong. Jiangji. You have a real bio, though. I think this might be the person who died. Alright, well, we might come back to you, but I don't think so. Alda Kaedia. Where are you at, Alda? There you are. She's floating around in JG Mysteries' sphere, but she's become friends with Fat John, and Meng Huo is also connected. So maybe she hired Meng Huo, and under orders from Fat John. I don't know. But she's been with us for a while. I don't remember if she started with us or if we got her in our force fairly early. But she's at rank 2. Yeah, we got a couple of people who are like most of the merits that they can possibly get are still not quite rank 1 yet. Mostly of the bravery sort. And on the handful of times we've seen her in like council meetings and stuff, she's been on our side because she's usually... Once we got away from the thing where Lu Bu wanted to go to war with every single force and I was trying to keep us in diplomacy with some of them, then it got to being I was always trying to get ready militarily, and we always had people showing up wanting to do domestic crap. And once we hit that stage, then people like Alda Kaedia were our friends. I can't remember. I remember that there was like a stretch of game where she was very important and useful, and I'm blanking on when it was. I think she was a big part of... maybe I'm getting her confused with somebody else, but I think she was... She the one who was killing all these members of Liu Biao's family? No, that was Lu Duo Wuya. Anyway, Kanji looks like a freaking created character, but isn't. I just want to check. He looks like he's supposed to be Pang Tong's cousin with the hat. Vice Sun Shun accident avoided Xiao Tao's camp. I'm not sure where they came up with that outfit for him. But anyway, that was a waste of time because now I have to re-alphabetize. I don't think I should have done that. Kirra Chang is next. We know the exciting story of Kirra Chang, one of the last stalwarts under Sun Quan. Although she was invited to several... she became good friends with Sun Yu. But she was invited to several of the parties at the end. For some reason, she did not march out when her city was under attack. But she was governor of the last of Sun Quan's cities. Like, they did not replace her as governor at the end when, like, suddenly all of his highest-ranking people were all clustered together in that city. So they must have had some respect for Kirra Chang's abilities. She's at rank 5, merits 1400. She is part of Sima Yi's unit marching out of Ye. And she's got a good split between aptitude and bravery deeds, which is unusual because she does not have the stats for aptitude stuff. But she has been in charge of a city, so maybe she's been forcing herself to try to like improve city governance and farming and stuff rather than just training troops, which is what she'd actually be good at. But displayed remarkable talent. Defeating officers and stuff. No, she was definitely an officer I was glad to get on her side because she was kind of a pain in the ass when we were fighting against her. Oh, she has War God skills, so look out. After Kirra Chang comes Ling Lu, a name that should be familiar to all of us. Ling Lu is somebody that I almost did a friendship quest with, but at the last second their friendship quest diverted towards being about me winning a duel, and I never went back and attempted another one for Ling Lu. But as you can see, we have a close enough friendship with Ling Lu that if the game weren't over, we could always go back and try again. And he was my war minister for a long time before I replaced him with Xiao P, I believe. Because Xiao P was able to get 2 things per turn, and he was only able to do 1. Although he's at rank 2, so I'm not sure why he... I guess his governance score wasn't high enough. He's primarily a military officer who gave himself a war expertise skill. But because he was a war minister, I think that gave him a lot of merits. He's very close to maxing out his merit, and yet has not been promoted to rank 2. So I don't know if that's entirely based on merit, or if it's also your duty. Either way, he's mostly gotten bravery honor type stuff. He's been a big figure in the LP for us. Very helpful for a long time as a minister. Made him the governor of, reasonably important city, although that means you have an opportunity for more deeds and stuff, but you kind of disappear from being at the forefront of the LP. But, it came a point as I was defeating officers from these famous forces, I felt they should get a chance to do something in the new force. Oh, I forgot to see, I haven't been looking at people's titles. Though you can, if you're interested, you can say, ooh, he doesn't have one. That's probably why I haven't looked at them for some people. And if you're interested, when your own character is being discussed, I mean, you might want to pause and check the stats for yourself. After Ling Lu, next would be Lita's grandma. The curiously named Lita's grandma has formed a friendship with Vulture Bean based on their mutual love of pie, which, when they talk about it, they simply mean the delicious pastry. But they keep seemingly wandering into zany situations where people think they mean something else. I do not know that is anything that has happened to Vulture Bean in real life. Undefeated in the realm, the undefeated of the East, Lita's grandma appears. Also at rank 2, governor of Jiangping. I think Lita's grandma joined our force late enough that I wasn't using Lita's grandma a ton. But Lita's grandma is leading an assault unit right now, so that's pretty cool. And merit is more than halfway up the rank towards topping out. So good job. We got a lot of created officers who have climbed very high in Lu Bu's organization. That basically is what allows. I want to say that my gameplay had something to do with it, but yeah, we kind of stacked the deck for Lu Bu with a lot of officers. It still would have been very possible for us to lose this LP early on. But once we got past the initial hurdles. Here's Liu Kong, the greatest officer in the game. Just kidding. We'll look at him real quick, though. First of all, his chart. He has no friends. His own half-brother doesn't like him very much. Second son of Liu Biao and successor to Xiao Mao. Son of Cao Cao was appointed protector of Qing, but was assassinated by one of Cao Cao's officers on the way to his post. That last part is apparently something that the author of the novel made up to vilify Cao Cao. But his mother Cai Shi was murdered by someone we'll be coming across fairly soon in this thing. That's why his archenemy is Lu Duowuya. Lu Duowuya, watch out. He's coming at you with his War of 22 and he wants revenge. He's gonna wreck you to us. It's always fun when he becomes leader of a force, but that didn't. We defeated Liu Biao too quickly for that to happen this time. So Liu Daiyu is who we actually should have been looking at. There's another one that I kind of vaguely remember as having popped up as an enemy at court. Or maybe we were friends and I'm remembering it wrong, but she's the governor of Wan. She's in my district. Oh, you know, it's not... I was saying this about somebody else, Fang Jiao. It's Liu Daiyu that we've had marching out leading forces, even though she's got awful stats for that sort of thing, because her rank is so high she can order a lot of troops. So right now she is the leader of a unit that is marching out to protect Hongzhong. But no, it's not Fang Jiao that's been doing that a lot, because with Fang Jiao, she hadn't been in my district, so I wasn't able to give her orders at all. She just kept showing up at force councils and disagreeing with everything I said. Liu Daiyu might have done that to a lesser degree. She's almost maxed out her merit. She's reached rank 2. She's governor of Wan, but she doesn't have any titles, because JG Mystery can't hand out titles. Only Lu Bu can. I don't know how many titles he has to hand out. Her duty record isn't very high, though, so I'm wondering what happened with that. But she's got good deeds. No good deed goes unpunished. A lot more, almost double for aptitude, but she has a bravery. But she's got bravery deeds just based on the fact that I'm using auto form to send out units in cities that she runs. So she's sending out these large, but probably not terrifically effective units. But it's all worked out fairly well. After Liu Daiyu is Lizard Lord, who's been making some noise about how Ma Teng's force is ready for a big comeback. I think he knows it's not really true, but, well, look at this. Lizard Lord has formed his own little court out there. He has friendships with Han Sui, Zhang Yao, Ma Wan, Ma Jiu, Pang De, Yue Yi, and Yue something else. Yang Fang is floating around out there. Wang Jiang. Any of these officers who were associated with that part of the country know who he is. We have an officer whose cause should I dedicate myself to? Well, it's kind of weird that you're not already working for Ma Teng's group, but I wouldn't recommend it if I were you. I don't know why he hasn't... Meng Huo was floating around out there too, but he doesn't seem to have a friendship going with Ma Teng or with Ma Chao, just with Huan Sui, who is like the sworn brother of Ma Teng, and some of the lesser Ma's, and of course, Autobot Pang De. Don't ask why he's an Autobot, it's not worth explaining. But he's only 34 years old, he's a young ninja. He's at rank 2, he is very close to maxing out his merit, so he must be... But he's a normal officer, I don't know how he's getting all that merit working under Ma Teng. He's just consistently doing whatever it is they're asking him to do. There's a lot of bravery stuff he's done. I mean, I would imagine he's just been constantly patrolling and training troops, which would like really crank up your bravery stuff. And apparently they've managed him in such a way that he's been able to get really high merit too. But no title, because the Ma clan was notorious for treating clan members better than other supporters. So I suppose that wasn't really just something that the Ma's did. Everyone kind of did that back then. But he's currently not doing anything. So he's not actually marching against us. Dragon Demon can't send you out against him if he's not marching. Or whoever it is who was trying to fight him. Lord Adam is next. We are the children of the Atom. We are the children of the Atom. Lord Adam, I believe, had been a part of Yuan Shu's force. He has not picked up any close friendships that we can see on that chart. He is working for us now. He is the military minister of Zhongshan. And he's at rank 5, so he kind of has struggled a bit to run. I mean, you know, 5 is not bad, but he's only 1 rank ahead of Yue Yang, and I'm sure he's been in the game longer. But, you know, he was working for Yuan Shu for a while, and then Sun Xuan. He's just had a hard time really finding his place. And I know we were using him to hire some people. He was being a bit of a pain while we were fighting against Sun Quan. And most of his merits are, in fact, military. So yeah, he is the kind of guy who would give us some trouble when we're fighting against him. And I guess he just hasn't had that many opportunities to fight recently. And yeah, for example, for whatever reason, despite having 96 leader and 90 war, he is performing commerce right now. He was not sent out into combat when I had just about all of my cities marching, and he hasn't been involved. So I'm surprised. Auto form didn't really help him out as far as getting involved in the interesting stuff. I mean, you know, good officer, just hasn't jumped out. Who are you? I did not recognize this portrait. I'm just sorry, I just got curious about who this guy is. Chieftain of the Southwest Tribes. Mahjong used fresh army to receive. Okay. So, one of these barbarian type guys. Up next is the butcher of central China. Lu Wuya doesn't need friends because anyone who gets too close gets murdered. She is the governor of Wuling. She is rank 1. Her merit is over 50,000. Over 50,000? I've used the phrase about to max out. I don't know your merit maxes out. Or if it does, I don't think it maxes out. It doesn't max out, obviously, at 50,000. But she is famous for having killed the wife of Liu Biao, and I think she killed another playable Dynasty Warriors type or a named character in the novel later on. Somebody mentioned in the comments. I don't even remember who it was. She's just out there killing people in duels. With a war of 82, it's impressive. That's a good war score, but not for a created officer, where people tend to be like leadership 99, war 100, intelligence 7, governance 5. You know, she's not built that all out for one thing. But she's got a lot of bravery deeds, because I was using her heavily in combat when we were fighting, especially when the coalition formed against us. She was doing a lot of fighting against Liu Zhang and Shi Ji. But there you go, rank 1. She is right up there. She is probably in your top 10 of highest ranking officers. So this is force ranking 48, so I don't know what that means exactly. Manly McBeefington. And I'm getting to the point now where maybe I want to consider searching from the bottom up. Manly McBeefington, of course, I had 2 different people at the beginning of this LP were writing comments on every episode that was like the journal being kept by their officer. And it was a cool idea, but they quickly ran out of the ability to make that interesting. But I remember one of them, I don't remember who was doing it, but I remember it was amusing because they referred to Manly McBeefington as being a student of some... Like, they were writing in a very serious kind of manner about the events that were going on in the video, and Manly McBeefington did something, so they mentioned him, and it's like, no, that kind of undermines all seriousness. He has made friends with Du Ji, who is a member of an opposing force, so I sure hope his loyalty is good. This would not be the time to defect if he was thinking about it. His city ranking is 1, his force ranking is 48, whatever that means. I'm not at all sure. He's a rank 2 officer now. He started off working for Xiao Tao. He seems to have gotten left behind. Well, he's in Lu Bu's district, so he might not have been left behind. I think it's a Xiapi hasn't marched. But he's in one of our starting cities. He got transferred there because we hired him out of Cao Cao's force, and I believe it was before Cao Cao's force was defeated. He has a negative duty record to reflect that, but he's earned a lot of deeds since then. So there's a difference between merit and deeds, but he's a good all-around officer. But he's not a great military leader, but he's done some bravery-oriented deeds as well. So he's done all right for himself since leaving Cao Cao's force. But you know, it broke his heart to do it. Let's keep this going here. Medius Decidi, I believe, has passed away. I'm almost positive Medius Decidi died. And I believe he died of natural causes. So I'm going to look for him real quick, and if I don't find him right away, I'm just going to move on, because I'm pretty sure he is gone. Yep. Alright. Made it to the city. It was another, I believe he was working for Xiao Tao when Xiao Tao fell. They came over to our side, put in a few years of service, passed away. Because most of the created characters have given themselves supernaturally long lifespans. Maxwell damage. A face that is familiar. He has formed a good friendship with Alda, which is nice to see. The created officers meeting up and becoming friends. He is a part of Lu Bu's district, which is why we haven't had a lot of direct control over him. But he's shown up, I think, at a couple of these force councils. He's the governor of Beihai. He is at rank 2. He is a personable type. Almost 50,000 merits. He's got a positive duty record, so he's been with us for a long time now, I think. And he's got a good split between bravery and aptitude. But yeah, basically he's a governor. Not quite at the same height of rank as a JG Mystery or a Fat John or a Fang Jiao or a Earl King, but pretty damn high. Mizun will be next. Trying to remember based on the name. I'll probably remember the officer when I see the portrait. Yeah, Mizun's been a fun character because he made a big deal about how he wanted to work for Liu Bei and was going to be like the stalwart who was fighting against us and undermining us early on, and then he kind of quickly came over to our side. Liu Zhang is working for us now. I did not even realize that. Not a good officer at all, but still. So Mi Zhang came to work for us before Liu Bei fell, and I remember the guy who created him found that fact rather amusing. But he's been with, and since we hired him personally, he's been kind of part of our retinue ever since. We don't seem to have formed a personal attachment. He's not like connected to us because he hadn't been stationed in our city, but he was in our district. He's currently the governor of Jiaoji, rank 2, got 33,000 plus deeds. And he's got that negative duty record. He's never quite gotten over that he had to turn his back on Liu Bei. But now that Liu Bei is working for us, and they have both sworn to support Lu Bu as emperor, I guess they got to kind of grin and bear it. Mostly he's a military type, although he's got high intelligence too. And so gifted in tactics that his enemies cower in fear. So there you go. He is currently leading his own unit, which is on the march to do battle with Ma Teng. Oh, I forgot to see if he has a title. Most of these guys do not have titles. He does not have a title. Especially the guys in my district, unfortunately. Lu Bu seems to overlook them when granting titles. Although he gave me a title. And I was going to start from the bottom up, but whatever. Next up would be Mr. P. Mr. P is still with us, and he's been... again, I don't know if this guy is watching the LP or commenting or anything like that. He was a big part of the Nobunaga's Ambition LP. He's been a big part of this one, too. He's friends with Chen Ying. And he's got an awesome portrait. He's great in a duel. Although his war skill's not super high. But he's at rank 2. He's the governor of Guiyang. We had him fighting Shi Ji and Liu Zhang during the coalition against us. When I had more troops up in the north, but... some really good officers in the south keeping it together, and he is marching a unit out of his city to he's down there in the same part of the country with Luo Duya and Falger, but he's marching out to attack unless I moved him and forgot about it, but he's marching out to attack Ma Teng. He is greedy for all treasures and alcohols and everything, and he has a positive duty record, so I believe he's been with us from the beginning and mostly doing military type of stuff. Mr. Schultz is next, but sadly he was slain in battle by Xiao Tao. I don't even remember if he was working for us at the time. That's not really honoring your name much when I say that, Mr. Schultz, sorry. One Shogun's next. He's been an interesting character. He's got a sweet portrait. He's been floating around in our district, so we've actually been able to use him. I've made him the governor of Jiangling. He's one of those guys, he's a good enough officer that I made him a governor right away, but then after that he kind of got left to his own devices and disappeared a bit. But he's at rank 2, 40,000 merits. He's currently leading an army out to protect Mahjong. I feel like I've sent him out into battle a few times, and his city didn't produce enough troops for him to have a really big military unit that could, like, decisively win a battle. But he's been one of those guys who, amongst a bunch of other leaders, is, like, trying to overwhelm Yuan Shang with numbers. He's got, for a created character, pretty middle-of-the-ground stats. He's not bad at anything. And, that's reflected too. His duty is positive, but his bravery and aptitude are both good. Like, kind of middling. Neither one of them blowing the other out of the water. And there you have it. One Shogun to rule them all, and in the darkness find them. After one Shogun, we have Panzer Toll, another interesting character. He gave us a lot of trouble as our enemy, and once he became our ally, he kind of, in a way, disappeared into this sea of officers we've got. There's so many officers in our force. But he is in charge of his own city, if memory serves. He was actually, he's the governor of Mahjong. Knowing that he's a good defensive general, I put him out in a city that I figured was going to be on the front line. We have not had as much combat with Ma Tang as I was afraid we might, because we managed to get peace with them and then take out the other foes. So now, by the time we're fighting Ma Tang, and Panzer Toll is right there on the front line, but there's no telling how much opportunity he'll have to excel, because there's going to be so many officers fighting in those battles. But he is at rank 3, almost 30,000 merits. He has marched out of Mahjong. He is in charge of the unit that's there, even though there's some excellent officers there. And they're going to attack. And he's got negative duty because he used to work for Sun Quan and was eventually forced to switch sides. Most of his most of his deeds have actually come from the governance side, though. So he's basically, his character has always been the guy, he's like the shield of Wei, Cao Ren. He's like the shield of whoever he's working for. He cares about the people, he cares about the city that he is governing, and he won't let any harm come to it. For now, the best way you can keep your city from harm is to help us finish off this war once and for all. Pingguo is next. Where are you at, Pingguo? Don't tell me you up and died on me, too. Nope, here he is. This is the guy who kind of joined the LP late, after a fashion. Well, he's got somebody floating around in his circle there, Meng Huo. I don't know what Meng Huo has got this weird, built up this weird rapport. I guess because he just got hired and is hanging around in wherever he's hanging around. I don't know what's going on with Meng Huo, frankly. But this guy's young. He's only 41. Everyone else is like 49. He was the guy who popped up late, and I was kind of experimenting. I wasn't even sure if he was going to appear, because it let me place him, but then it kind of indicated he wasn't placed in these screens where you're figuring out where the created officers go, because he was too young to actually be an officer in the first year that the scenario took place in. So now you know we've been playing for, I think 15 is when the officers can debut. So this game has taken place over like 30 plus years of, wait, that's not right. If they debut at 15, then yeah, we've had about 25 years of game time that has taken for JG Mystery to almost unify the land under Lu Bu. And others have helped. But he is a Grand General. Look at that! He is only 41. He's a couple years younger than most of the officers. But he's achieved the rank of Grand General. He's at rank 1. He is the governor of Shangdang in Lu Bu's district. So he's his leadership and war, he must have been kicking some ass in Lu Bu's units. He's got a fuckload of bravery score, not much aptitude. His duty is positive because he's never worked for any other force. So there you go. This guy's been like stomping ass as an officer for Lu Bu's district, and is actually ranked at Grand General. I wish we could find a way to just list the officers. I suppose we can do that, actually. When we're done, we will go look at the Lu Bu officers in order of deeds. So Pingguo, been very impressive. Up next is Ricky J, whose portrait I can remember, but I don't think we've come across him too often in the LP itself. Although I think he's in our district, so I feel bad saying that. He is in JG Mysteries district. He's the War Minister of Julu. He is a little bit younger even than Pingguo, so forget everything I was saying about how Pingguo hasn't been around that long. He's at rank 5, so yeah, he really hasn't, he's out with Dragon Demon's unit. For whatever reason, he hasn't had that many chances to excel. His duty record is positive, so I think he's been with us for most of his career. I guess he just has been tasked with stuff that has led to bravery record, but not to a lot of merits. So, at rank 5, though, he's, you know, he's still apply 5. Maybe that's how many years he's been with our force. Let's see something. Apply might be blanked out for him. Somebody explained this last time, yeah. Apply is blanked out for him. Bobo's loyalty is blanked out. His apply is 16, so he's been with the force for 16 years. Jiao Chan's been with the force for longer because she was with the force before this started, and her loyalty is blanked out because she's married to Lu Bu, so she basically can't defect. Ultra Bobo is a sworn brother. His loyalty is maxed. I've had apply 16. Okay, so apply is how long you've been with the force you're currently with. So I gotta find somebody that I knew has switched sides. Xiao N certainly didn't start with this force. And its apply is 5 years. Okay, so that's... I'm sure somebody already explained it and I've forgotten, but that's how you check and see how long someone's been with your force. Well, let's go back to search, and let's go with Rin Satori. Rin Satori was extremely useful to us for a long time as a domestic minister. Or was she a governor of a city? But no, she kind of faded, but there was a stretch where she was in the same city as us, and we were using her a lot to build up our cities on the front line against Liu Zhang. Shang-Jiang. We'll visit it. We'll check in with Shang-Jiang and Gen-Ji, of course, since they, you know, married the main character. I don't know why it was taking me so freaking long to find Rin Satori, but there she is. No, not... Yeah, there we go. And she struck up a little bit of a mini friendship with JD Mystery. So she's been with the force since the beginning. She's rank 2. She is leading a unit to protect Mahjong. One of those officers who doesn't have good military stats but is a high enough rank that they can command a lot of troops, so they end up commanding units. Rank 2, 45,000 merits. More aptitude than honor. Positive duty record. She was very useful to us for a long time because she has excellent governance stats, and we were using her to actually build up some cities. But eventually I let her be governor of her own city and left her to her own devices. And it's difficult to tell if she got more deeds at that point and just less time on screen in the LP, or if both her time on screen and her ability to rack up deeds dropped off.